Hey guys, Assimilation Webinar, Cotton Grammar here. We have an incredible webinar lined up for you, an Avengers loaded webinar for you, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. We're going to be inside the OMG way to make sure that everyone is following us. Let me just do a roll call here. I want to know, everyone, if you're going to the first OMG live, I want you to give me a hashtag live. If you're going to both, I want you to give me a hashtag both. And if you're not going to any of them, then just give me a hashtag none. So I just want to do a roll call here to see how many of you are going to be joining us. And this webinar is all going to be focused around OMG Live. We're literally 30 days away from all of us arriving. I know that I will have already been there for a few days right now. I know that so would Greg and so other ones, just getting together with David and just all of us getting together a little early. This is literally going to be one of the best and greatest SEO events ever planned out. Some of the material that we've seen that is going to be presented there is absolutely amazing. And we're devoting this webinar to the OMG2, which is going to be Mike Pierce and Derek Wasiak throwing down. And we're going to say hello to them while we let you guys do your hashtags and check up on you. But my host, that's always with me, that's been here on almost every webinar, Derek, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Colin. How about you?
Doing fantastic. And always a pleasure to have Mike Pierce on. What's up, buddy?
How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. So, no, you're doing a little bit of traveling. Where are you in? You in California or Idaho now?
I'm in San Diego right now.
Oh, wow.
At the firm out here training some new staff, and
Crazy.
It's been a long day.
Oh, I definitely could imagine. What kind of a drive is that from there, or do you fly there?
I flew, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a long drive, isn't it?
It is. It's about 24 hours.
Holy, I didn't know it was that far away.
Yeah.
Seems like it's over on the West Coast. It's not that far away, but I guess it is. It's
just
crazy.
Going all the way down to the opposite side of the country, all the way to the south.
Crazy. So I didn't realize. I'm going to have to look at that on the map. But guys, what we're going to be doing today, once again, load up questions and answers while we kind of go over this is, guys, we are literally down to our last few seats for OMG Live 2. Now, I know that we sold out OMG Live at a record pace. It was something like 20 days, and we just mentioned it through the webinars. We didn't even open it up to people outside of OMG. We haven't opened this up to people outside of OMG either. And what this is going to be is something that's going to be groundbreaking for years to come. We've never, because of the big demand and because of everyone wanted more advanced tactics, wanted some more secrets that were OMG Live 1 is going to be devastating all in itself. But what we're going to do tonight is something very unique. We're actually going to pull the curtains back and give you a little taste. Just a little taste, and I got a feeling that you're going to want the whole meal after you get it, trust me, of what OMG Live 2 is going to be. And talking to Derek and Mike, these guys have been literally brainstorming, research and developing, and you know what? Getting these two guys with no holds barred, throwing down what they know is literally amazing in itself. And to be sitting in there with 2 days, getting bomb after bomb after bomb, I guarantee you it's going to be amazing. So for those of you that didn't know, we've added 2.5 additional days to OMG Live that will start Monday evening and will end on Wednesday evening. And guys, you got some pretty crazy stuff lined up for us, don't you?
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. I actually just dropped into chat. We're looking for somebody that has a local verified site and maps that has citations and video tied to it, preferably for tonight's demonstration. If anybody wants a push done, let's see if we can get someone to send a site out that we can work on.
Guys, you just heard what Mike said. He's going to do a live demonstration tonight. He's actually going to do this for your listing live. So if you want to be selected with that, put down pick me or something on there. So so we can get you on board. We have a lot of people on tonight. I expect us to hit close to about 600 people on this webinar tonight. So, if you want to push, I've seen what they're going to do tonight, and it's pretty sick. I would definitely be asking to be the be the one that the magician cuts in half on this one. But there's not going to be any bloodshed, is there, Mike?
No, it's just going to be beneficial, right?
Yeah.
It's mentalism.
There you go. There you go. But with that, guys, if you haven't had an opportunity, guys, we're going to be talking about it all evening long, about ways that you, if you haven't got into OMG Live and you wanted to go, I would really consider going to the second part of this. Even if you trust me, you're going to want to do it. If you're going to the first one, I guarantee you that after this first one, you're going to be so fired up. I don't want you to waste the money to rearrange flights, to pay for extra hotel rooms and do everything else, and to pay for it on the spot and find out that we're sold out. So literally, as of right now, we're down to about 21 seats left. 21 seats left for OMG Live 2. And I know these guys are going to be doing a lot of stuff like they're just talking about right now. It's going to be very intimate. Mike and Derek said that they prefer it to be more intimate, a lot of live examples, a lot of things like this. And trust me, I'm going to be sitting right there with you guys also. These are people, it's no different than if you're in the NFL and you're Tom Brady. You like watching Aaron Rodgers throw a couple touchdowns. It's watching people that know your craft run at a level that can just be admired by anyone. And these two guys are at a level that I love just sitting back and watching them go. When you have two guys that are literally this talented in your field, I've got nothing but respect and just sit down and you know what? I learn from everyone. Even the beginners and these guys, I definitely learn from. So if I can pull things out of it, guys, just imagine what you're going to be able to do. This is one of these things tonight that I think that you're going to love. And we're going to be talking about OMG Live all night long. If you got any OMG Live questions, throw them in the chat box as well. And we'll let Mike decide who he's going to pick. And Mike, you want to announce that later, or you already have someone now that you can start looking at?
Oh, you threw me in. I was going to throw you under the bus. Let's go with John Shaba.
Oh, okay.
I think he was the first one that posted, so we'll do that.
Great.
If we can get the URL so I can start pulling some data while we're doing Q&A, that'd be great. So if you can send out what that URL is or let us know.
He can actually put it back in the chat box and you can see it.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, you can just talk with him back and forth privately on the chat box with the webinar stuff right there. So, John, you're a lucky guy, man. You're like, you're going to get a nice little boost there, I guarantee you. What we'll do is we'll jump into some Q&A and we'll go from there. And let me bring up some of the questions. Always like to do this without checking them out, so we make sure to keep it raw. Here we go. When you guys went over Fiverr gigs, Derek mentioned the Tumblr method for videos. Just wondering if that training is in the members area. I don't think that we've ever done that.
Well, we did that one module on the Tumblr method, so that's
right.
Yeah, you can use that. So
sure.
The only difference is using. It doesn't matter what kind of content you really use. It's just video is more engaging, and most of the time we use GIFs now because the Tumblr lifespan of their attention is very short, so they like GIFs.
Right. Let me get to some other questions here. I'm going to skip some of them because a lot of these ones here we're not going to answer. How do you approach clients with proposals? Cotton, do you do them? Well, of course I do. Matter of fact, just right before we got on here, I was just talking with Mike about proposals as well. Yes. I only do proposals if asked. There's a lot of times to where, it's a local client that I've met or, I've met at a charity event or I've met, at basketball season tickets or soccer season tickets or something. And I just send them a link. So it's all subjective to who you're talking to, what you're dealing with. If they ask for a proposal, always give one. And that's my kind of take on it. But absolutely, you should always have proposals done. And I like making sure that I only do one. Now, I know a lot of people sit and slave over different proposals, but I don't. I have a system down that I might try to put together in a module that literally I can get proposals together in about 5 minutes. And they have video embeds, all of that other stuff in my proposals and analytics, all that sort of stuff. So that's like kind of what I do, but that's almost a different webinar. But definitely I do use proposals. Okay.
You make me an organizer too when you have a
Oh,
chance.
sorry. I didn't even realize you weren't. There you go.
No problem.
There you go. Let's get to some other questions here. It says, hey, Cotton, it's Scott Bender in Orlando. I have an upscale seafood restaurant in Orlando, most awarded seafood restaurant in Orlando. I've been able to get a few keywords for them to rank on page one, but need ideas for a little more push to get them on page one. They're in positions 9, 10, and several other listings on page two. Any ideas? Uh, yeah, this all comes back to all of my answers are going to be pretty simple. Just don't stop linking. I mean, without looking at the web page, without getting more idea, without seeing the on page, without doing a lot of other stuff, just don't stop linking. That's just it. 2, 3 links a week out. That's all I can do unless you want to give me some more information to like see where you're at, what the competition is, what the keyword is, all that sort of stuff. But Derek or Mike, you guys want to jump in and offer anything? I just look at this sort of stuff as generic to
Yeah,
me.
sure. Yeah, I mean, like one of the things I always play with is start testing different titles. I usually write out maybe 5 or 6 different titles that are optimized slightly different, and then I check out what the competition's kind of ranking for. So that's usually the biggest swings in rankings I can get are just from the title optimizing, and then I just make sure that make sure their on page is not over optimized, and usually I just check to see what's kind of in the top 10 and see how many times they're using that kind of keyword density, so that what is kind of overboard and what's not overboard. Where I've seen guys with local sites and they use the city name on the homepage 45 times, and it's like, well, I'm stuck on page 2, and that's get rid of all those because everyone else has like maybe 3 or 4 of the city in there, and then it just starts pushing it up. But we're also the push that we're going to show you right after the Q&As will definitely help you organically and in the maps. So that's one of the strategies you can definitely implement right after this.
Great. Good answer. Next question, Cotton. How many active clients do you have currently? 104. What's the average monthly spend? Don't know. Don't pay attention to that. My lowest is 4,000, highest 55,000 a month. Best method for getting clients right now? Referrals. So covered that very quickly. Cotton, do you recall if there's any training methods, tips around getting client strategies US while living in a foreign country? Guys, everything's pretty much universal. Just getting out there, talking to people, letting them know about your business. I'm sure every country has its own form of meetup.com. Or I even think meetup.com is global, isn't it? Or it's in several companies. Mike or Derek, do you know?
Yeah, well, I know U.S. Canada for sure, but
Yeah, I could have swore that they was over there as well. But anything where you can get a little group together or just any sort of SEO splitting that works everywhere, guys. With like some of the Fiverr gigs and some of the things that we're able to show you, I mean, I want you to think about it. That if you were to walk into a business right now and then offer to do them a customized video for $20. I mean, we kind of showed you how to do that a couple of weeks ago. You just got to use your head and you got to piece all the training together and just kind of stack it up on top of each other and get ideas of what you can do. So, just because you're in a foreign country, the same methods apply that we teach here. Just you're going to have to fit them into what's going on over there without getting too detailed about what's going on. Well, next question is OMG Live 2 this week. No, OMG Live 2 is in November. We're like still about a month and about a week away from OMG Live 2. It says, next question is, I tried to purchase a foreign domain because it had good metrics. Found out I have to have residence or business in that country, Italy. Do you know of a way around that you can share? Best person to ask would be Derek.
I haven't bought any ones in Italy, but usually all you need to do is you can just fake the address. But the only thing is you need to have a local TLD kind of email. Usually it's the easiest way to get around it. I have a resource for that, and not off the top of my head, I have to find it. But it's what we use for like .co.uk domains and stuff like that. So I will dig it up and post it somewhere.
Great. Next question is, Cotton, how do you decide when you're done with a client? Do you pretty much always rank them number one, or just do that at some point and decide it's good enough to be at 3 and 5? If the latter, are the clients usually okay with not being number one after paying 20, 30K? Well, first of all, I don't ever guarantee a number one. Second of all, I always lay out, of course, this is what we're going to go into in great, great, great depth at OMG Live. And I like have something that's literally going to be able to pinpoint you down with prices, with everything that is going to just break this wide open for everyone without giving away too much detail. Ultimately, what it comes down to is I don't ever offer anyone that we're going to be completed any sooner than 6 months. If it happens before then, they're happy. I'm consistently weaning these people and training them that they're going to be giving me referrals after they get done and trying to turn them into my personal sales force by going out telling people anytime I send them an email to do any sort of extra add-ons or anything else they want me to do, or even monitor their site to make sure that it stays at the position that I had it at. I won't take a maintenance payment. I'll only take referral payments. But that's something I've never revealed before. So that's what I kind of do. So think about it. I can continue to eke along and turn a good relationship sour once, because I charge a high amount of money. I don't do anything under $4,000. That's my basement. So if I'm charging someone $4,000 and they're at number one at 6 months, at 8 months they're going to start asking, why do I got to keep paying for? So generally, I let it go an extra month just to tell them to make sure that it matures and stays where it's going to be at. Or I specifically know if there's some high domain authority sites ahead of me that it would take months and months and months for me to jump past that. I generally tell them that this is about as far as I can go and they're going to be fine, or it's going to take an additional 4 months or 3 months. Do they want to do that? Or they can send me referrals and I'll still continue to keep going. So my whole business is about, think about it. I'd rather have, and especially for maintenance, when you get to a certain point, it's better to cut them loose and say, hey, I think about I've got about as far as we can go. We're going to stop payments right now, but if you'd like to maintain your position or any maintenance on the site, or make sure that you stay in this position, because any site stays stagnant, or if you sit on the couch, you don't work out, you put on weight. Website's no different. You got to keep it in shape. If you want me to keep monitoring it and keep doing this, keep sending me referrals, I'll make sure that you keep staying in your position. So with that, I keep getting in a steady flow of referrals that come in that's far greater than the monthly payment. And they're happy because they're not paying any money. So think about it. You can continue to push for $4,000 2 or 3 months in a row, burn the relationship out. When they go, why am I still paying this? I could have just done PPC. It's crazy. Or I can stop the payments and tell them, the only way that I do maintenance, I don't do it for money anymore. I do it for referrals. So that's pretty much what I do. So my job is, what I try to do is to get them off paying me. Now this, I know this sounds crazy, to get them to stop paying me as soon as possible so I can get them hooked on turning referrals over to me. Because if they can send me 3 referrals, now I'm making $12,000 instead of the $4,000 I would have eked out, or $8,000 I'd have eked out for 2 more months. So if that makes sense, give me a 1. I mean, if you're following what I'm saying, kind of give me a 1. Great. Look like we got a few people here. So that's like what I kind of do. So what you guys think is a lot of people like to keep these things going. I like to just kind of flip it around a little bit and do a little bit different. But we're going to dig deep down and hard into this like you've never seen. There's some of this stuff's going to blow your mind at like OMG Live with what I'm going to go over on Monday. I already know the schedule. I know that Stephen Floyd is going to open up OMG Live. He'll be till noon. Then we got the superstars Derek and Mike going Saturday afternoon. And I'm not quite sure about Sunday, but I know Monday, Greg and I are taking all Monday morning and into Monday afternoon. You'll get me and Greg Morrison together. So that's kind of what the plan is for that right there. Sunday, I'd have to look at the schedule again. I don't have everything else memorized. So that's kind of what that is. That's the first time you guys are even hearing the schedule, isn't it, Derek?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So you guys are going to be getting the super prime time right after everyone's got warmed up and got some free food from OMG there. Saturday afternoon, you guys are going to be rocking it out all afternoon, for what I understand. So at least from talking to David, unless something happens. What are the dates from OMG Live 2? Without bringing up my calendar here, what are they? Isn't that the 16th, 17th, and 18th?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Great. We'll move on to the next question. It says, I'd like to push for web design, and I am in the 5th, and the snack pack would like to take first. Now, this is it's kind of wouldn't everybody.
Tonight's the night. This push will help with that.
There you go. There you go. It says, Cotton. Hi, Cotton and all. Do you use indexification or backlinks indexer for money sites or for your own SEO sites? Thanks. I'll let both those guys answer, and then I'll answer as well.
I don't use them. I don't use them on my money sites and client sites. If I'm doing stuff that's a little more spammy with a lot of pages, then I do use that kind of stuff on my money site or my site.
Mm-hmm.
For indexification, I only use it on my backlink profiles or detoxes.
Mm-hmm. Same answer. So hopefully that helps out, Tracy. Now we're running through all the pick-me's here, so we got to get to some of the questions here. When creating My City SEO sites that are in the same language but targeted to multiple countries via TLDs, is that duplicate content a problem?
Not if you're using the href lang. I can't even say that word. The alternate canonical URL, so you can state which country is the canonical, right, and then you can have the alternates. So that way you can have better rankings in each country, or even if you have different actual translations of the articles and contents, you can state that for each country as well. So Mike, what's that plugin called that was just like MPL?
Yeah, real quick in my notes. The one that was not updated?
No, that's the free one. The paid one is WPML, I think. Yeah, WPML. It's a WordPress for multilingual plugin. I've been trying to get it to work on multi-site. It's been difficult.
Great. Next question is, it's a question that I'm just going to kind of go over here a little bit right now. It's a question about maps. And what I had is earlier this week I had David remove a lot of the maps training from OMG. It's just outdated. I know that something that we did last year with the citation crusher stuff is not current anymore. So I had David remove that. So the question that the guys asked was out of outdated technique that doesn't work anymore. We're in the process right now of we have up the maps de-assimilated that was done by Stephen Floyd, Derek, and myself. That was from March of this year. That is still updated and works in a way of how to get your map started, and we've put that in place of that. So if you haven't watched that, I would go back and watch it. That would be the training. We're going to update the maps training a little bit stronger and harder over the next couple months. Probably have it available for the first of the year. But that citation crusher stuff, guys, if you're using that to base anything on, don't. It's absolutely outdated, and we removed it from the training. So just go ahead and remember that. So that was just a question that was asked about a maps method, and I just want to make that very clear for those of you. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. It was an assimilation webinar from March. It was called Maps De-Assimilated, called the 7-pack De-Assimilated. Works the same way now with the snack pack. Go watch that. The same rules apply, because Derek and I both spent 3 months of our lives asking and answering map questions, didn't we, Derek? That's like That's like if Derek's still there.
I should unmute myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone over and over and over, but I mean, it's just like it's always changing. I think local changes almost faster than national. So.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. It says here, do you usually rank roughly a certain number of keywords, or do you pretty much go on everything in SEMrush? I know it depends, but let's say that you find example 10 keywords. Do you try to rank all of them, just 5, or discuss it with the client every time? Well, guys, what I want you to understand is every time that everyone asks a client question, client stuff is very, I mean, you got to be very fluid with like what you're doing. There's no cookie cutter answer to any client stuff. If I've got a client that has specific goals that I know that they need a lot of keywords, and we sit down and we talk about it, but do I just go after every keyword just for shits and giggles? And no, I mean, absolutely not. I generally let them pick myself. This is what I do, and then I'll let these guys answer because they do client things as well. I normally let them pick out one main, one alternative, and then I show them some long tails that are automatically going to get brought up with it. That is not part of me guaranteeing anything. So that's generally what I do. And everyone's generally happy with that. You guys know that if you're ranking anything anyway, that the vacuum of the power of what you're doing with the main is going to bring up all the long tails anyway if you're linking out right. So ultimately they're going to be happy about everything. So that's my answer. Derek and Mike, you guys have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, and I pretty much the same. In my agencies, we sell like 2, 4, and 6 keyword like core packages, and then depending on the type of site, if it's local or if it's something that's doing like magazine style stuff, we discuss long tails and other things. But those packages are the core of what is guaranteed, just like what Cotton's doing. Anything extra is another discussion or an upsell or something like that.
Exactly. Derek?
It's the exact same thing. Me and Mike work the same way.
Cool. Great. So hopefully that was helpful to you with the question. It says, I don't have a video, but the site is 70 pages. Local mortgage company. Great. Oh, hold on. I'm like thinking it's a question. Here we go. Cotton or Derek, what or who service do you use the most for citations? Whitespark, Fiverr, Bright Local. Thank you.
I use Yext,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, Whitespark is really good, and I probably even use them more right now because Yext got rid of our backdoor kind of thing.
Yes, they did. I'm mad at them.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys know? Well, I don't even think they know what it is. It's more of an inside joke, but yeah, you could normally get like if you were a Yext partner, you could build your citations, pay for 1 month at $30, cancel it, keep the citations, and then they keep doing it over again. And they kind of closed that door on us. We were all doing that. So, so Mike, what about you? What do you use for yours?
I'm still using, like in the agency stuff, we're still pushing just through Yext because we upsell it as like an additional package with our SEO. So they pay for it and we make a profit off of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I still use Yext. They're trained on it.
Sure. I use Yext as well, and I especially love Yext for the suppression stuff that they have to go ahead and clean up stuff that makes it very, very easy. I also use another source, but I'm not going to give that out. It's just, but maybe if I get the guy and talk to him, I'm just not going to ruin my business and flood him, and then all my stuff doesn't get done. So
yeah, you get in certain industries and local. Yext is a good thing because they lock out the citations for the data aggregators, and if you get a shady competitor, they can take your phone number and modify your phone number on those citations that you've ranked and steal your phone calls. So Yext is a really good way to protect from that kind of shady dealing.
Mm-hmm. Great. It's good advice. It says here, next question is, do you ignore no follow links when doing a disavow? I'm thinking I should filter them out.
Okay. Yeah, well, when I do my detoxes, there's a little tab, or it's like a little selection box you can click just to see the do follow links, so it gets rid of all the no follow ones, and then that's how I usually do my disavows. But usually if I'm working on like the main screen where I see all the links all together, then it doesn't calculate the no follows into the disavow, so it won't say usually it doesn't change your your toxicity score or whatever. But when I start looking at them manually, I hate looking through the like the tox threes. I usually manually look at those ones one by one just to kind of see why they think they're tox 3. But and it just wastes time looking at the ones that are no follow, because essentially what the disavow tool is doing is changing those links to a no follow in Google's eyes. So just to get rid of them, filter them out, basically.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Good answer. Next one is Derek, is it possible to have multiple money sites on the same shared hosting pointing to the same money site if all of them are on Cloudflare? Is there a footprint? And Mike, well, why?
Yeah, just be careful right now with Cloudflare and things like that, because they're really doing a sweep right now. They're hitting a lot of stuff that's on Cloudflare, so if you make any mistakes, they're gonna spank you. And it's just active right now, so just be very careful with Cloudflare right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with your DNS settings.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure that you have your DNS like to a T, that you're not leaking your direct IP connection and stuff.
Yeah, well, because you could tell them kind of what the circumstance was last one, because they were leaking. They had the FTP still in there.
The FTP and the MX record. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so those were pointing to the real IP address. So they basically linked what was like 450 sites or something like that.
Yeah, so if you're doing it, you make sure you have mail disabled on the domain on your PBN or whatever, because if you don't, Cloudflare will scan it, they'll pull it in, and it'll leak your actual IP. If you're building on a DEDI or something like that, they'll find every site on that dedicated server right now through Cloudflare.
Moral of the story is, don't take the shortcut. Just don't do that. Just don't do that.
Yeah. But I mean, in this terms, they're using them for money sites, and if it is like legitimate content you're putting out, they're diverse, they're not linking together, you're not using the same PBNs to promote it, it's not going to get hit.
No. Yeah.
Right.
Just if you're being shady.
Yeah, I just noticed it said money. I thought he was talking about PBNs going to the money site from Cloudflare.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, me either. It says, what is the dress code at OMG Live? Well, we don't allow swimsuits, Speedos, and nudity, and that's about it.
I can't go without a Speedo, dude.
Guys, it's literally casual. You don't, I mean, literally just
evening wear.
Yeah, you're right. Tux is only, guys. Tux is only. Guys, just come comfortable. I mean, everyone's going to be, if we're not going to be upset if you're wearing a ball hat, T-shirt, shoes, and sneakers. I mean, we're like here to learn. We're not here to be like doing that. Obviously, people like Mike and I will be dressed up a shade more just because we're, checking in people and doing other things, and I'll be up front doing all the MC work of it, so I'll be looking semi-presentable. I mean, I'm not going to be looking like a scrub, but ultimately, just come comfortable. That's
my wife won't be there to dress me, so bad.
Yeah.
Wife beater shirts.
Yeah. Right. But also remember, there's a lot of nightlife at OMG Live, and we got a lot of special stuff lined up at a lot of different places that's going to take place off property. So if you're comfortable, hanging out with, T-shirt, jeans, and sneakers, and that's how you normally dress, then you're good. So I wouldn't worry about it. So let's see, we're getting a lot of response back that meetup.com is global. We've had people check on it. They're saying it's in Switzerland, Australia, everywhere. So thanks everyone for going ahead and check on that. They even said we have meetup in Sweden. So it looks like it's everywhere. So hopefully if it's just as popular and getting as much traffic here as it is there, you can go ahead and use that. It says here, is there a way to get a Google map listing without a real address for local lead gen sites?
Yep, send me a message.
Yeah. There you go. You got that. Let me see here. If a client's hosting server has a host name that is a loan company, would this hurt the underlying site trust or ability to rank?
I missed that question. I'm sorry.
It says, this is more towards you with your niches and stuff you do. It says if a client's hosting server has a host name that is a loan company, would this hurt the underlying site trust or ability to rank?
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about it. No, I wouldn't be concerned.
No, I don't think so at all. But
Great. Let me get here. Go through all these ones here. What business niches do you work with the most? I don't do niches. I like do money niches. Anything that wants to pay me $4,000 a month. It says the guys. There's like someone says I cannot see the question just because you're not supposed to. And so that's why. It says I don't care about getting listed in the map pins if I was still wanting to benefit. Hold on. I don't care about getting listed in the map pins. Is there still a ranking benefit getting address verified for local keyword? My answer, these guys might disagree, is yes.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you think about it, everything that points to your property either creates an entity or follows some sort of juice towards your property. So especially if it's a Google property, they're very nepotistic. So they're going to like the fact that you're in there, and they're going to trust you a hell of a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm going to be honest with you. I've like got a site right now that I'm ranking, and it's stuck on page 2. Just got it verified today. I'd let it sit there for just as a test. I mean, it wasn't anything I was like really needing to rank. And I said, this isn't moving. This isn't doing anything. So sent the postcard out last week, real address, and got it, verified it today. And believe it or not, it jumped up 4 positions today. So my thing is absolutely. It just creates.
I definitely agree.
Yeah, validity. I mean, Google goes, this is a real business. Now we trust it. It's important. So we've like validated that it's a business. So next question is, I have a law firm with a recently fired attorney that has bad news about to break. Removed his page and images, disavowed some scrape citation sites and a few real ones with his info tied into the firm and address. If you search his name, their map listing pops up position number 1 and big map sidebar. Any ideas how to make this go away for them?
I totally have to read that again.
Yeah, that's not only that. This is like a $10,000, $15,000 gig right here out of whack. Yeah.
What was the timestamp on that one?
8/31.
Like
yeah.
730s.
Yeah. You know what, Mike? Why don't you message me? I can tell you how to get rid of it. That's just. I'm not sitting here just gonna drop $15,000, $20,000 information, and then everyone go out and try it. So just message me. Next one is here. Have you managed a catalog to training that is assimilation webbies yet? The answer is no. And I've talked to David Mills, and David Mills wants to hold off and do it at the holidays. So David Mills.
Volunteering.
Yeah. No. David's holding off on doing it, and we're going to make it nice. Put it together for an end-of-year thing for all of Director's Cut. So next question is, a couple of PBNs got the manual spam penalty from Google. Should disavow them since they are pointing to the money site?
Yes. I just usually disavow them and let them expire or use them somewhere else.
Exactly.
Right. Great. Next question, Cotton, how do you avoid duplicate content penalty on your site? Cotton Grammar. All of the cities your site ranks for are pretty much the same with some different content on each. Well, you just kind of answered your own question. You said duplicate content, then you said it has different content on it. But ultimately, anything that is local, that has geomodifier in the URL where they can see that it is, there is no duplicate content penalty. So it's pretty much going to be the answer. That's why.
Yeah, the simple explanation is they compete for different keywords.
Yep.
Right. So
there we go. Next question here. Well, we kind of already went over that. Someone just asked about Cloudflare again. If we just kind of answered that. It says, hi again. Do you use proxies? If so, at all, when, and what times?
Yeah. No, like for account creation and anything that needs to be unique, they're going to go into your mix.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're just doing one client and you're just creating like Web 2.0 accounts and all that, and you can usually use the same proxy because they're not going to track it. I mean, it's like even if they have they do have the technology to track everything by IP and proxy, but it's like literally only if they needed to ever use it against you, right? So it's most of the time you're just being extra cautious. But usually, if you're creating bulk amount accounts, you definitely need to use proxies, and it's usually to avoid the Web 2.0 system, not actual Google's.
Mm-hmm. Great. It's a question from Mike. In local SEO, is it okay to still create silos that have generic content about different suburbs of a city and then link them to different services offered?
Silos, different services, like links. Yeah, we silo our local sites if there's a need for it and we need support pages.
Great. So there you go. Please answer. We're getting pleases here. My city site have different city addresses that's verified. Can I build citation to each page on the same domain? Answer, absolutely.
Yeah, just make sure everything has its own landing pages for their citations.
Yep.
Like I hate when people have. I see it quite often. Clients that have like 50 different locations verified, and they all point to the homepage.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. No.
Nah.
Nope. So, next question is, do you charge any setup costs in addition to the monthly fees? My answer is no. Derek, mine?
I do.
Sometimes depends on the client. Like some clients, they want really in-depth market research and they want to know exactly what to do and what the competition is doing. And I'm like, I'm not going to do this for free. It's like, so that's even before we even build one link or even do their on-site. It's sometimes kind of like it's not really a setup fee, but it's kind of an analysis fee. And we don't charge it all the time. It's just for certain markets and certain people with big budgets.
For us, we don't do it like Cotton's with my agencies. We're at a lower price point than Cotton, so we charge a setup fee to do the ranking with, and then collect the monthly after that's ranked. So it's just a different way of doing it. It really depends. Like Cotton said, it's all based on your business model. Whatever works for your client base is what you're going to end up doing.
There's no right answer.
Yeah.
So whatever works. So next question is, are custom TLD extension having more weight in ranking performance than EMD.coms? And one of the things that I think we've never discussed ever on this webinar is that they've kind of released the limitations on all these extra crazy TLDs. Haven't you guys noticed that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I've been buying up a lot of .1s, a lot of .xyzs. What about you guys?
Yeah, I think I have a few thousand .xyzs. Yeah, no, I about 3, 4, 5 months ago, they really kind of dropped the TLD preference for .com, .net, and .org. With what you guys are all doing, you're going to be safe on any of those TLDs. There's certain things where you might not be, but it's not really going to affect you guys.
Yeah.
So.
The only one I actually say that still have weight are individual country ones. So like .ca is always like I have so many cities trying to rank in Canada. They don't rank until I switch them to the .ca. They'll be number one in .com Google, but they're like page 3 in the local TLD. So
I don't foresee that changing anytime soon. That's why the href lang tag and those TLDs are important if you're doing multinational rankings.
Yeah.
So sure. So
Mike has a little bit of a conspiracy theory on XYZs, but I don't think we'll go into it.
It's going to be too long to talk about.
But guys, just the main moral of the story is I know that a lot of you are looking at that we've said for the last year and a half and OMG to just do .coms, nets, and orgs for new sites, but all of them are safe to use right now. So, and there's some pretty crazy ones. If you get out there and look, there's .agency, there's .rent, there's .golf. I mean, there's so many crazy ones out there. So, you can.
Pros are ranking everywhere.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would say on that note, one thing to keep in mind is if you're helping a client build their site from the beginning, a .com is much easier to remember than a crazy TLD. So from a business standpoint, I would still recommend going with a .com if you can go with a .com.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially on a business card and what XYZ.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't look that great.
Right. Yeah, I just been getting phrases together with like some of them that's pretty cool. So
yep.
Just
it's fun.
Yeah, just test sites, throwing them up there, seeing how fast they move versus .coms and stuff. So, but definitely. So if you got a business that's got a crappy name and they want to rebrand, it's a good charge them up. I like bought up last week restaurants.miami, bestrestaurants.miami, luxury.miami. I bought all of those and I'll sit on those and flip them around. Or I
might buy luxury.miami from you. You're in my niche. I need it.
See? There you go, guys. That's why I go around and buy those up. So just let them
turn into a domainer.
Yeah,
he's a domainer now.
You know what? I don't know why, but I'm like a woman with like shopping for purses and other stuff with like TLDs. Like it calms me down for some reason. Like if I've done too much SEO, I like go and I hunt for cool domain names. I don't know why. It just, I think it's fun. And I'm like, okay, what's this available, that available? And then you start thinking, and man, you can find some pretty cool ones. So I literally have about, I don't know, like 1,500 like cool.
Yeah, I've got so many .tips domains. Like I went on a crazy rampage like 7 months ago. And probably won't use half of them at least,
No. I'm like running through all the .ones right now. Anything with 3 letters at the end, obviously. I'm liking. So, you
just need the .one.
Yeah. Right. So no. So those are a lot of fun. So guys, if you see any of those out there, once again, don't ignore those. And like GoDaddy's releasing different ones. Seems like 2 or 3 a week from now for the next 6 months out. I got the broker from GoDaddy. He just called me this afternoon asking me if I wanted to put any pre-orders in for some crazy ones. I said I'm fine right now. I've got so.
ICANN is pushing actually for people to be able to create their own TLDs. So it just makes sense. If ICANN's pushing for something eventually, right. I think they just have to remove the preference. If they're going to actually push for something like that, they can't give preference. You get into problems with preference, and so it just makes sense that that's going to go that way.
Sure. Great. Answer a couple more questions and we will get on to the lesson. It says, what type of businesses do you work with routinely? If you could start over and didn't have referrals, which business would you hit first? The same. My answer is the same. Whoever's going to pay me. It's this. I don't really prefer anything. I guess if I had to stick in one, it would be lawyers. What about you guys?
For me, I would look at my circle of trust and see if anybody works in a certain industry and goes to conventions in those industries and might be able to do the referral thing that you've been talking about, Cotton, mm-hmm. or sell leads for me. And that's how I would do it if I had to start from scratch, is find somebody that can broker for me or give me referrals.
You're right. Yeah. What about you, Derek?
I don't really know. Actually, I just go after the money. So it's like,
yeah, me too.
I mean, it's like things change all the time, and sometimes I like doing lead gen one day, and I like doing affiliate stuff another day, and so mm-hmm. it's just kind of like on the mood of the day, really.
Right. Yeah, I have a lot of lawyers, so I just kind of picked that. Okay, next question. After you get a site ranked, how do you get more sales for a highly competitive niche like precious metals? Competition is fierce. In this niche, client claims not getting sales. Are there any other good avenues we could try other than Google? Thanks. Well,
can you repeat that?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
It says, after you get a site ranked, how do you get more sales for a highly competitive niche like precious metals? The competition is fierce in this niche. The client claims he's not getting any sales. Are there any other good avenues that we could try other than Google? So what he's basically asked is, he's done his job, and the problem is that I don't want to get off on a tangent on this, but this is one of these things to where I am just an SEO.
Yeah.
I move sites from point A to point B. I am a digital mover. Once I move your site and I put it at number one, if you go to a real estate agent, and I've said this before, and you buy the corner, you buy the busiest corner in the city, and you want to sell tacos, and you set up your site there. Now, look, you see all the traffic coming. You know exactly where your taco stand's going to be. You know what's going on. Then you call me after you've moved in and say, Cotton, I'm not selling tacos. You suck. How is that the case? It's like, well, let me check your menu. Well, that's an additional fee. You want me to write the menu for your tacos? That's a whole different thing. That's the content on the site. You don't like how the taco stand or the taco restaurant works. That's like me going in and doing web design. So all these things just aren't my problem. And I make it sure it's not my problem from the very beginning so I don't get stuck in a position like you are right now with them complaining. I don't ever guarantee sales when I do my SEO on purpose. So one of the things that you're asking us is, hey, look, I've done my job. I've done it well. And these guys still aren't happy. So if they're not happy, cut them loose.
Yeah, exactly. That I just cut a couple of people loose for the same reason because they were complaining to the agency about sales, and realistically, we didn't have any language in our contract about sales. We didn't have any of that. Yeah. It just becomes a time sink for you having to field these phone calls.
Sure.
And I know that's kind of if at certain levels that hurts to hear, but realistically, you're better off not having that person bothering you all the time and taking your time than actually collecting the money from them.
Totally agree. You could be spending all that time having a client that is low maintenance and that doesn't even want to hear from you. That is totally happy to be where they're at. So it's just one of those things is, it really burned me early on in my client career, which slowed me down a lot, is all these people that after you got into number one, they just were like, dude, nothing happened. And I'm like, well, I did my job, and they still keep calling. Well, nothing's happening. They kind of want there to be another level besides one. So, and you're going to pay me extra to come in and copyright. You're going to pay me extra for web design. You're going to pay me extra to run an email list or to come in and just basically run your business. Now it's not SEO anymore. It's called business consulting. Now that's what I did before I did this. But, I quiet them up pretty quick when I say, look, I can come in and solve all your problems for $10,000 a day. But what I want you guys to think about is you don't know all the little details that could go on from. It could be as simple as the receptionist answering the phone as a bitch.
That's what I was going to say is especially if for some reason you mention sales in your contract or you're doing a lead gen or something, you need to be recording those phone calls, because I can't tell you how many times there's been problems with conversion and you listen to these phone calls and they just got people that are just completely unprofessional answering the phone. And when you're doing that kind of thing, you need to make sure you get rid of those unprofessional phone answerers right away, because they're just going to kill your freaking bottom line.
Right.
Yeah. Or they're not even answering the phone.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen that many times too. Yeah, they just don't answer the phone. So there's so much on that. And then it goes back to say, that's not your responsibility as an SEO unless you've made that your responsibility. So don't make that your responsibility unless it means more money for you.
Here's the next layer to this. He just wrote another comment there at the very bottom. He says he's asking for a refund now. Now that's a whole different animal. So you've got him ranked the number one and he's asking for a refund. One of the things that I'm really going to go over with at OMG Live that's going to save your life, and I've never revealed this, maybe I have, I don't know, Derek could tell me if I have, but I got a chargeback, my first chargeback ever, that was probably around February of this year. And it was one that stung deeply. I think it was like a $27,000 chargeback. What it was is the guys just didn't, just wasn't a good fit. They were asking for unrealistic demands. And I politely just said, I just don't think we're a good fit to work together. You want something different that I can't produce. It's just with every relationship, not all of them can work. It's just the facts of life. So what happened is these guys went behind my back and they did a chargeback and won. And one of the things is that, and I gave Mike some of the wordage that I use on mine. I have what I call is a understanding, like a client understanding. that they literally, with how I do it, they sign it without knowing they sign it, which basically says that if they've paid, that they're paying for services in advance that they're happy for, and that there is no refunds, that all this other stuff that's included in on it. So I can have this ammunition to take back to PayPal. So see, because what there's two things. I'm not going to get very deep into this. We can get more into it at OMG Live. But guys, if someone pays with a credit card through PayPal, they can go to their credit card and ask and charge back. Then PayPal's basically fighting for you. So you have to give PayPal ammunition to fight for you. So PayPal is on your side. You're their client. The credit card company is on the other client's side because they want to keep them happy. And if they don't keep them happy, they just cancel the credit card and they just open up another one and just go to someone else. There's two people fighting each other. So ultimately, PayPal has a list that basically says that intangible services like we offer, there can never be any refunds if it's paid through money directly sitting in the PayPal account. So if I've got $10,000 sitting in my PayPal account and it's cleared and I go ahead and I pay you, then what happens is there can be no refunds, especially with our business. But if the business owner pays with a credit card through PayPal, now he can come back and do chargeback. So you need to find out how to
Amex
pay.
is like 12, 24 months that they can do it for. I mean,
Right.
it's nuts with American Express, man.
Right.
It can hurt. And that's one of the reasons I'm out in San Diego right now, is because that language that you're using, I've come out here not only to train staff, but we're reworking our language and we're kind of using some of the stuff that you showed me,
Sure.
man. It's good language. It really is. That's good, valuable information if you're sharing that with everybody at OMG Live. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, that's worth the freaking price of a ticket, to be honest with you. I mean, it's going to save me a lot of hassle, man.
Well, it comes from, getting burned to a crisp. I don't care who it is or how much money you make. Just knowing that you've worked for as long as that you have, and you have $27,000 just pulled from your account that you've already counted as part of your own. That's a lot of freaking money on any. I mean, there's some people that live off that for a year. So I was
Seriously.
like, you can burn me once, but one of the things that I've always adapted with, you'll never burn me twice. So I had to sit down and reword everything. So that's why. And the answer is, do I always use PayPal with my clients? The answer is yes. Yes. I'm too lazy to do anything else. That's the honest answer. If you want me to, is there smarter ways to probably do things and better ways to do things? Yes. So, and one last one. I think we got one for Greg Ortiz. This is a question for Cotton. It says, Cotton, are you going to be ready to make it rain with them rankings in 1 month at OMG Live? The answer, Gregory, is yes. We will. It is. I know that Gregory's heartbeat probably skipped right there as I was reading that.
Fox in a hen house.
Yep. Good old Ortiz knows how to keep them foxes out of the hen house now after you showed him last webinar. So guys, what we're going to do is I have put in, if you will look below, we're going to bring this up really, really quick. I've sent the link out to everyone. Let me bring it up real quick before I turn it over to Derek and Mike. And guys, this is the page that you got up right now. Guys, this is how you can purchase OMG Live 2 to get the additional 2 days with Derek and Mike. I'll be opening it up for them. Like, hopefully, I'm getting word back from Becker that he's going to be joining us as well. He'll be opening up OMG Live. So, guys, I'm telling you, you're going to be blown away. You're going to be blown away. So this is right here is what you're going to need to go through. And I'm telling you, it'll be worth every penny of it. Having friends like these guys are invaluable. And I'm going to tell you what it's basically all about, too. If you haven't decided to make it to OMG Live, the relationships that you're going to build from just being at OMG Live are going to be invaluable. And, yeah. And
Absolutely.
Derek, you have been to the first OMG Live. How are those friendships still working right now that you developed there?
I can tell you that if I never went to OMG Live 1, I would have never been friends with Greg Morrison and wouldn't be friends with Jimmy Kelly. I would have never met Mike Fierce. I would have never met,
Right.
Cotton wasn't around yet, but
Nope, I wasn't.
I mean, all that stemmed just from going to OMG Live. I mean, just getting to meet people face to face. It just breaks down people's trust barriers, and if you want to get more information out of them or you want to learn more from them, meeting them in person is the number one way to do it.
Sure. And, just the relationships that I was able to develop last year, just getting ready to, was able to meet Gregory Ortiz for the first time. Him and I have talked a lot. Guys, you see all these posts from everyone and you get to put a face to it. And I know especially what it is. We've went out and shown people. You've seen how the assimilation tours that we went out and done have impacted people. People come back, had a blast. They've got other information. And, Derek, you had a blast at assimilation in Dallas, didn't you?
Yeah. From what I remember, it was
great. Right. A lot of great memories is what I'm saying is, so not only are you going to be getting cutting edge information, but, and I honestly feel, and I'm pretty narrow in who I speak to. I don't speak to a lot of people. But I truly believe in my heart that OMG is surrounded with some of the best SEOs in the world. You got Jimmy Kelly, you've got Derek, you've got Mike, you've got Greg, Fletch, Joe, Stephen Floyd. I truly feel gifted and privileged, and I'm surrounded by the best SEOs in the world. At any time that I get into a jam, I can reach out to one of these guys. And what we're trying to do is highlight some of the amazing talent and shine a spotlight on these two guys right here and why they're so amazing, and why I feel that literally it's going to carry your business for the next 12 months. Literally. I feel that the information that you lack, that they possess, is going to be able to take you to another level. Now, I feel that both events are equally important to go to. They're both going to be going over entirely different things, and they're not crossing up on information in anything. I just feel that this is literally going to be something that you need to go to. If you haven't thought about going to it, is like I said, limited seats available. I will let everyone know after tonight, guys. If you have decided to grab a seat or a ticket for this, I want you to message me. I might do something special for like those that decide to do OMG Live 2. I might, for those of you that purchased tonight or that's already purchased, I might decide to do a special off the books webinar with you guys, going over some stuff that's a recap of what Mike and Derek went over, but also kind of after hours of the first OMG Live. So if you've purchased OMG Live 2, or once you've done it, I want you to message me so I can let you know. After the event, we'll hold a special off the books webinar. Now that's a bonus that I've just started right now. And I promise you that webinar itself is all of these. I'll be revealing stuff that I would never reveal. I better not have anyone record anything either. So that, along with this, will recap everything so we can get everyone together to even ask more questions. Some of the great things that's going to happen is when you turn these guys loose like this, it's going to be amazing. We've been able to twist their arm, and guys are going to pull back the curtain right now and give you a little, now, and I'm serious when I say this, a throwaway taste. This is really like, they're like letting you nibble on the cheesecake. This isn't all they've got. This is something throwaway that they've got for an open webinar for all of OMG. So take that in mind. And at the end of it, guys, I think you're going to be blown away. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you guys. Whoever wants to take the presenter, please go ahead.
Derek take that.
Yeah, sure.
Let me go ahead and give it to you.
Yeah.
Hold on. Now I have to find where it is. Okay. You should be getting it.
All right. Let me know when it starts showing.
Gotcha.
See?
Yep.
It's showing.
Okay. So the first phase of this, what we're doing is I've showed it on a webinar a long time ago, and then on a promotion webinar, but never all the pieces together. So what we're going to do is for local citations, pushing, and local, just like the maps, we can also use it as like a hub for a lot of the link juice. And what we always do is we start with google.com/mymaps. Okay, and this is going to bring you into custom maps. Okay, so like I've taught this before, but it's still the most, I think it's, in my opinion, probably the most powerful thing for boosting into your that local snack pack there. So what you do is you come in here.
Eric, have you actually shown the video portion of it yet?
No, I haven't shown any of that stuff, guys.
Right.
So
it's a reveal.
Yeah, there's some more stuff in there. Yeah. Okay, what you do is you're going to create a new map, and what we're doing today is for SEO Melbourne, and I believe Shaba.com, and he's not currently ranking right in the snack pack, right? Might be look right.
I do not believe so.
Okay. All right. So I'll also teach you some kind of cool things what this is used for, but what you're going to do is start out with the main keyword here, and this is one of those times where I'm going to use the geo modifier, and where I've taught before not to use geo modifiers, but this is mostly just to kind of like snipe the snack pack. So you have to use it once for this term, and then I usually have to use it for a different local term like SEO Melbourne or local SEO Melbourne. But there's not really local keywords for like SEO. Like when you search SEO for Melbourne, it's going to give you the national results, not the local results usually. So that's why we need to use a term that's going to drive up, that's going to show the display the pack, right? So if you go into SEO Melbourne, it's going to say. So when we're talking about the snack pack, it's literally this right here, and the competition's fierce now. There's literally 3 spots out of where it used to be 4-7, and so one of the things we always want to make sure is Mike hates the reviews, but make sure you get some reviews, because look at the click-throughs. Who's going to get the most clicks, right?
It's more that I like to give you a hard time.
Yeah, so we're going to go on review rant now. But you can see that these 3 are the ones that are like essentially dominating this area, and one of the key essentials to actually getting here is to be able to fit in this preview window. So if you can't see your business in here, it's very difficult to rank. So if you're kind of like right over here somewhere, Mike, maybe keep an eye on the questions in case people are like, I can't see, and stuff like that.
Yeah, will do.
All right. So sometimes I have to like zoom in a little bit more. But this is essentially the area where you want to be having your business. So like if a client is trying to say, well, we want to get an office, but we don't know where to get it. So this is kind of the information you're going to get, because this is the centroid of the city. So it's not the center of the city, it's the centroid, and that's how where they put the pins. So that's where the most dense population of the businesses are, right? And you can actually see it right on here. So you can actually put your keywords right here, and it's going to zoom in here, and it's going to give you, these are the businesses that are available basically for the snack pack, right? And these are the first 3, obviously, right here, I think. Right, 1, 2, 3, SEO. What's that one? SEO Melbourne Expert. So all you have to do is kind of like zoom down in here. And these actually are quite dense right here. 1, 2. I don't know why none of my terrain is showing up. But what I try to do, yeah, I know, it's usually on I'm not using Chrome, sometimes they're like that. I don't remember my password. Woohoo! First guess. And that's not good. Check connection. It's taking forever. Okay, we'll just presume that it's here. So, all right. So what I first do is, oh, look at that, it's just loading up now. I load up some of the ones that are going to be the closest to the map pack, and we'll have this one. And yes, we're actually juicing up other competition, but more importantly, we're trying to associate our domain with this keyword, and these guys are already associated with this keyword. So by grouping our site with them, it's essentially telling us these are the sites that should be ranking for SEO Melbourne, and my site's in there as well. So a lot of times where people are page 1 and they're not in the map pack, but they're ranking organically just fine, it's just usually it just needs a little bit of a push like this. We're gonna keep an eye on the questions here. Where is it?
Not seeing anything come through, but I don't really know how to use the software very well, so.
And how did you get the businesses alert? Okay. Okay, we'll do a recap after this, but basically you go google.com/mymaps, then you're going to open up a new, create a new map, and then what we're doing is adding businesses to the pins. So every time you add one of these, it's going to add to the map here, right? And you can actually name these layers if you want to. So usually I put kind of an LSI keyword.
You're creating, right, and then like a hub of trust, yeah, and you're associating, like, you got this co-occurrence going on with the top rankers of that map pack query. So you're associating yourself with that, which really does a lot for this type of campaign.
Yeah. So what we're going to do for this, just for time's sakes, is we'll push this whole stack in here, right? And so when you click on here, that's where you can change the title again. You can actually add your description. And from here, you can have, I think it's cutting off some of those URLs. Sucks. Copy the link, one by one now. So this can actually, oh, give me those URLs. You don't want that URL because that's a YouTube redirect URL. I believe it's a 302. So this one looks fine. Definitely want to use the Yelp. So internet always goes so slow when I'm streaming to everyone. Come back to that. So what we definitely need to have, we'll just get rid of this for now because it's taking too long to load. Is we have the websites in here, so that's going to be a link, and then we have the Google Plus in here, we have the Facebook in here, and the Twitter one. It's up to you what you kind of want to put in here, but for now, what we're doing is kind of like basically a essential, it's a domain authority stack, and using this kind of as a hub right now. But something else you can do to even power it up a little bit more is you can take like your video URL here, and there's a couple of options in here. I don't want to get overcomplicated because it's confusing for a lot of people. So you can actually use a marker on here, which is kind of cool. You can stick this in here, and you can actually geo-optimize your videos and power them up right here. So you can go from here, you can go Melbourne, SEO company. You can put some content in here. and there's actually an icon here. You can click, and you can actually, I just gotta say actually less. You could put YouTube here. You can put video search and an image URL. And what this does is it's going to help boost up your video. So any of the juice flow that comes to this page is going to be help siphon through this video, and then it's going to siphon through all these pins as well. So from there, you're pretty much done. There's different variances you can do on here. You can even draw, if you want to do crazy stuff, you can do a little map around it. And this is just adding more information to the map. So Melbourne.
And that is the draw line tool, in case
yeah,
you're
that's
wondering.
the draw line. Yeah, and you can add an image in here as well.
So you can really kind of cluster in all your Google properties and your images in there, and kind of flow juice to anything you want to that is image or video. It's a good little push.
Yeah. All right, so that's going to be on there, and it automatically adds to the map. So these are the ones on the bottom left here are the ones you pinned to the map, and these are the ones you haven't yet. And what you have to do is just make sure that we add your actual business one. So you can usually just Google that. Where is it? Right here. So they're pretty close to the area, and it just might be hard for them to rank because, as I kind of showed before, this is kind of where the centroid is here, and he's kind of over here. But doing this strategy, we can kind of change the map, and you might be able to zoom it out a little bit more. So basically taking this and trying to get it to zoom out a little bit, and that's done by adding more and more pins to the outside of this area. And so by optimizing this location to fit with these, we can probably change that. Might maybe make it a little bit bigger.
Yeah, you can sometimes, if you're lucky, you can kind of change the centroid of the snack pack with this.
Yeah. If you're way outside the area, say in a suburb, then you're gonna have to get either an unverified location in there, or get a verified location closer to the area, or you're gonna have to just rank for the suburb for now, because it's some of these things are
exactly.
You have to be in there. So some things just are zoomed out quite far, and then some things are zoomed in really far. So like I was doing research on something in the San Francisco area for like IT services, and I think I can even show you kind of San Francisco IT services.
Derek, I'm just going to take a roll call here to see how many people's following us, just so we need to slow down or speed up. Guys, if you're following everything that Derek's talking about right now, give me a 1. If you're a little lost, give me a 2. 50-50.
Yeah, well, it'll be on a replay as well, so yeah. We'll do a quick once over again, but sure. IT repair, I think. See, like for this example, San Francisco IT repair it's zoomed in a lot more, and so this is maybe a 30 block radius where all the businesses are. But then as soon as you switch to, say, like I think Bay Area, where the map zooms out quite a lot, right? You're actually getting different cities and towns and everything all in this area, right? So you can actually, if you're over here, you could get into the snack pack possibly. I mean, you're gonna have to have a lot more optimization, because I'm looking at more over like 150 pins at least in here, right? But that's kind of states how the map zooms in and out, is dictating on how many pins are in that area and how many how dense the location is for the keyword.
There's a little hint in here. If you're buying an address, say you're doing lead gen and you're buying an address to put up a pin, then this is the research you're going to do when you go get your address, right? So these centroids, that's a key takeaway. They're important.
Yeah, and identifying those keywords before you actually get start building your citations and all that stuff. So.
Yep.
Should we attempt to add the keywords to our business title? When you verify, they changed the terms of service. Before you weren't allowed to have any keywords or locations in your business name for your Google My Business dashboard, but now they say you can actually have a city name in there and or a keyword in there, but I don't. I rank without it. I just find it's an easy way to get it over optimized, but usually the best thing you can do is have a domain name that is exactly to your keyword. Local exact or EMDs rank the best or the easiest to rank. So
your landing page is a very huge deciding factor in a lot of this stuff. So whatever you have is that landing page target in your map listing. So in most cases, your domain, like Derek said, EMD and a properly optimized website for that term that you're ranking for is going to be more beneficial than if you stuck something in that title of the listing.
All right, so back to the map. You can add more layers here, and you can play with it. There's quite a different things you can do with it, but to get it going, the most powerful thing on these are embeds. And what I mean embed is you have to share it here. You're going to go into where it says private only you can access now. And this goes with any Google property. So if you've done anything publicly, you can figure it out usually. You're going to switch this to public on the web. Click done. And then to actually get the embed code, you got to go to embed on my site here. And this is the code I pass over to Mike.
You ping it to me in Skype if you. Yeah, thank you.
Yep. So you can use this to rank. These rank pretty well in Google on their own, and you can use them as like a tier 1 property, or if you're using blanketing tactics in say your local market, or I've even seen them rank for national queries very easily. Yep. Yeah, you are on a DA 100, and one of the examples I always show because it's not mine, so I think it's green savings, which is actually a pretty big keyword, I think. Where is it?
And like video, embeds are very key with these map listings. So lots of embeds and some contextual. Just a light contextual touch to that URL, that share URL, it goes a long way.
Yeah, see how big energy savings, the number 1 result is a map.
So, yeah, show them what it looks like.
This one ranked based off of embeds. You can send links directly to it, but you got to make sure you use the viewer version of the URL. Not the edit version. See, in here it's the edit version. And just to get that URL, all you do is log out and then paste the link. And if it's shared properly, they'll give you the viewer version of it. I gotta upgrade my internet.
Yeah, me too.
Well, it's as fast as they go. I mean, that's what sucks when you live in a rural area.
Yep, exactly. I get 1 meg down if I'm lucky.
300 here.
Yeah,
I don't like you anymore, Cotton. I'm jealous of your internet.
It's being with Bright.
Your internet's much bigger than mine.
Bright House.
Well, I'll paste the URL in here for. Okay, Mike, you want me to hand you the screen?
Yeah, if you can, because If it gives me something simple to click, it might work for me.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go.
Okay.
All right, so kind of what we're basically going to do a kind of multi-tiered push right now, and we know we were talking about how embeds help these things to rank. They also help video to rank. So if you think about it, we've got a video embedded in that map listing, which is going to start to push that that video, and we've also got the map listing embed code that he gave us. And then what we have here, let me find this. So this is the push we're doing, and what we've got here is we've got a push that's going to create this property that is kind of a hub or anything for link juice that we can use to push up. So what we've got is a custom map embed in the hub, and the hub is actually linking over to these citations that are linking up to the site, right? So we create this little property that, or multiple properties in this case, that they're doing 4 things for us. They're not only linking to the citations and powering up those citations, they're also pushing this custom map and giving that way more power. This citation push, actually, even without the custom maps, is one of the ways that I push like zip code ranking. So this query is auto transport. You'll see that I'm not logged in. And here's the map listing in the snack pack. It's number 1, and then we've got the domain, which is this beautiful. These are my design skills. You know, this is this beautiful thing. And we've got the query auto transport for the nodes that we're pushing. So if we go into any zip code that we want to rank in, this site will actually come up for the national level query because of the way we pushed our citations. And the testing we did directly powering those citations had a huge impact on this kind of ranking. So the site was ranking for things like auto transport Ogden and Ogden, Utah before this, but once we did this bundle, it actually decided to rank for the top level query without any of the local modifiers. So it really is a powerful push, and it can be very easy if you're using tools. But I want you to understand that you do not need to use FCS Networker, which I am going to use for this example. But you can do this by hand, because really the only thing that you need to do is, if you have 10 citations, then when you create the second tier property, you want to link to 3 to 5 of your citations in one post, right? Because we're creating this hub that funnels juice to multiple tier 1 links. And so when we create these tier 2 links, we don't need to go huge. The reason we're going to use FCS Networker in this push is because there's an embed factor, and that embed factor is something that we want to push as well. So for just the citation push, you really only need to go 2 times, 3 times on your tier. Like, so your tier 2 needs to be 2 times to 3 times bigger than your citation count, right? We just want to make sure that we get each citation linked at least once in this kind of push, if we're not doing the embed. In this case, we're doing the embed, so we're going to go with more volume. So we're going to use FCS Networker. So Derek gave me the code for this map. What we're going to do is we're going to create a blurb in FCS Networker, and I'll show you what that looks like once it publishes. This is what will get published to your Web 2.0s, whether you do it by hand or you do it with FCS Networker, or you use Hangout Millionaire or Money Robot. It really, the tool, I want to make you understand that the tool isn't important, the technique is what's going to be effective for you. Okay, so you'll see that in the embed, this is what we're going to get on every post that we do. We're going to get the link there, we're going to get the content, and we're going to get all this stacking stuff down here as well, right? So everything that Derek just showed you is going to come through on every post that we do. And it's really simple. It's going to take longer explaining it than it usually takes to set up these campaigns with a tool like this. So we save this. We just posted our embed code in there, and we're going to add that blurb. I typically name this for like organizations reasons. I'm going to do this as SEO Melbourne, and then custom map. So this lets us know that this blurb is directly related to the custom map embed that we're doing. We're going to add that to our blurbs, and in this case we actually are going to push the video as well, because we're pushing that in the blurb. So we're going to add another blurb, because you can add 2 blurbs in here. And if you're doing this by hand, you just embed this into your 2.0, and we're going to call this, I'll show you what it looks like when it publishes so you see. So it'll embed that. We're going to call this SEO Melbourne YouTube video, and we'll add that. And then when we go in, we're going to create a link set. So we're going to add a link set, and what we're going to grab here is we're going to put in all these citations. Now this is a little more disorganized than if you do this by hand. When you do this by hand, you're literally, if you have, say you have 9 citations you're pushing, you're going to create 3 tier 2 properties, and you're going to link out to 3 of those citations in each property, right? So for our main anchors, in this kind of situation, I like to go with something that's kind of market level. I don't typically, I will go exact match anchors sometimes. Other times, I'll go with a market level. And the easiest way for me to get anchors is to just jump into the AdWords tool and jump into Wikipedia. And I go and do a search for SEO. Now I go to search engine optimization, I'll grab that URL, and then I'll just drop that into my keyword planner. Sorry, the internet's a little slow right now. So I'll drop that in there, and I'll get my ideas out of there. And I'll add all to my download. And I will go and download that to Excel. And hopefully we'll just, yeah, no problems, good. I've got Excel on this. And then we're not gonna take the keywords, we're just gonna take the ad groups. And actually, actually we'll go with all of it, it's fine. It'll be fine in this case. So we grabbed our ad groups, we've got keyword that we can throw in there, we're throwing our main anchors there. I should have filtered that. Let me, for sake of time, we'll just use enough. You can do multiple of the same one, it'll just change your ratios. But in this case, I'm just going to use one, so it just rotates through the semantic set.
I love how they spell optimization differently than us.
I know. All right, let's see. I'm just going to delete some of this. I'm not going to delete all of it. It's not going to be a big deal because it's all in there. All right. So if you're not as lazy as me, you'll filter that and just have one of each anchor. This is just kind of mess with the percentages, but it's not going to cause a problem in the actual campaign for John. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. Anything else, secondary anchors, I don't even bother with it because I'm not using exact match in there. There's nothing mentioning Melbourne. We're not going to go crazy with it. So I just add the links at that point once I get my anchors in there. And then you go, and once you have your links added and you have your blurbs added, you can just go straight in to create projects and create a blog project. What you do is you're going to grab your links, choose your link set, go to the last whatever page is the easiest way to find it. Let me see. Did I save those? I didn't, I don't think. Here, I'm sorry guys. Link sets. Let's just make sure. It might not have populated over. Nah, it didn't. Let's see. So again, you're going to name it for the keyword or the domain. So I usually do like domain.com. So in this case, it is shaba.com.co.au or .com.au?
.com.au.
All right, cool. Thank you, sir. think that's it. Don't hate me if it's not. I'm sorry. It's not meant to insult.
It's just for internal use anyways.
Yeah, exactly. This is just internal use and identification. All right. So now we can go and create our project. Again, it's blog projects. And we're going to add our links. So we're going to click on links. We're going to choose link sets and select our link set. And we're going to do 3 to 4 links per post. For image and videos, to make this stuff index well, we want to make sure we use videos. And also, you know, images do not help, so this can be search engine optimization. I usually go with like 1 to 3 on the images, let it go random. Just keep it random for your align. You don't want a pattern, so just let it do what it does without anything that specifies anything. Same with video, SEO. I use I actually tend to use 0 to 1 on video. It's just something I do. There's not really a reason I do that. You can use, you know, whatever ratio you want to use for that. Project name, we're going to call this shaba.com.au SEO Melbourne. Organization in this case, when you start to pull all the pieces of the campaign together, is really important. So just make sure that you're organized. If you're just doing it by hand, make sure you're doing it in a spreadsheet and you keep your organization so you're pulling the right embed codes into the right content. You know, you might be doing multiple pushes. You might have more than one custom map on a domain, and you want to make sure it's all labeled correctly. So then we go into our blurbs, and we're going to check blurbs 1. We're going to choose our blurb. And we got the custom map. Choose that. I'm going to go to blurb 2. Choose our blurb. We're going to go with, you can do it in both. I usually separate them so that I can use different pieces of my campaign in different campaigns or different projects, we'll call them. So I use different pieces of my campaign and different projects in FCS Networker or Hangout Millionaire or any of the other tools that I use. So choose that custom. Actually, I think I did that already. So choose that YouTube video. So you're going to choose custom map in one. You're going to choose YouTube video in the other. We don't worry about translate, master, or spin. Schedule. I like to drip these over a week if I'm not on a time crunch. You know, if I've been procrastinating or staff's been procrastinating and I need to push it out, I will push this kind of campaign out in one day because you're not linking directly to your money site. It usually is buffered by at least 2 tiers. In this case, FCS is behind your citations, so it's buffered. So you're good to go.
And also the map is in iframe, so the iframes act as a tier.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got a tier there. You don't have a direct link to the website from the map. On FCS, you've got a link to the map, which links to like this. Where'd that go? So here you've got the embed inside of this. So that actually, to make more sense, we send that to the back. Send it back. And that's actually coming out, and there's 2 tiers in front of it. So you're keeping everything at least 2 tiers away. We add 7 days, accounts. Well, let's add accounts, and we'll go to, let's go to 100. I'll get to the end here somewhere, I promise. Sorry. We'll just grab something random. And right here, there's 100 accounts. We did, I believe it's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like 15. So technically, we can go to like 30 or 40, and then I'll just jump into the center of this.
And these are all generic accounts, right?
Yeah, these are all generic. Okay, these are not themed. There's no theme on these accounts. This is just network that I randomly push to. So you really don't need, if you're building it by hand, by all means, theme it all. If you're doing it like in a tool or FCS, realistically, you just want to make sure that this stuff is getting indexed and staying in the index.
Yeah, and you can use your PBNs to push up the maps as well. You don't have to necessarily use FCS, but
Yep, same thing. Create the same type of content in your PBN. It'll all work. In FCS, you just go with auto-generated content. I'm sorry, auto-syndicated content, because we're lazy and we don't want to do content. We just want stuff that'll stay indexed. We're going to go with SEO, link building, and internet marketing.
yeah, you can even stick a local keyword in this version because it's actually that's the content it's scraping. So the more
I typically do. You're right. I typically just even throw in just the location without a modifier, so it pulls more content. But you can throw in Melbourne SEO or.
But the more obscure the keyword is, it's going to be harder to find information. So that's why.
When I train my staff, I tell them to go with the broad market level terms for the content generation, just because it ensures that you won't end up with nothing in just your embeds. Submit to all accounts at once. We've got our content. We did our blurbs. We did our linking. We did our images and videos. We did our accounts. We did our project details. At this point, we're done with the push. And what this is creating, again, is it's pushing 3 to 4 citations per post with themed content. It's pushing your map embed on every single one. It's actually pushing your YouTube video on each one too. And which that means that that's actually another tier of juice flow that you're getting with this process. So what you do is you basically create a cluster of juice flow. So you have multiple points of flow here that's all pushing back up to your target. And one of the things when we get into live, unfortunately we don't have enough time tonight, but when we get into live, this is the top 2 tiers of like a really hardcore push. But this here is enough to do, this kind of thing, where we were talking about the auto transport. This is that same push that kind of did the final push into all the zip codes, right? So this push is really effective for your snack pack rankings, because what you're doing is you're boosting up your custom map with the method that Derek showed. You're boosting up your YouTube video. Both of those link to your client site or your lead gen site or whatever you're doing. And then you're also boosting up these citations that have a PA of 0, and you're actually increasing all of that page authority for these citations, and it's creating this synergistic effect. And one of the points of this push is you can kind of cluster all this together in one kind of hub, where then you can do other things on the back end of that to increase the power of that hub that just keeps and synergizes and flows all that juice up to everything above it. So it clusters your tiers into this little hub, hook, whatever, and distributes the juice. And in live, we'll talk about how that juice really flows detailed, because we need a lot of time on that kind of thing. But this right here in itself is extremely effective when you're doing any sort of local campaign. I guess now we go to questions.
Great.
And another point I want to make is this is really quick stuff.
It literally takes like 3 minutes.
It doesn't take time.
Yeah, guys, if you don't, give me a 1 if you understand everything and you think you just need to watch it a couple times, or give me a 2 if you're just clueless. Just 2 if you're clueless. Well, we got a lot of 1s here. Just a lot of people just need to watch the replay and get familiar with it. Doesn't look like there's that many 2s. So, guys, whatever questions you got, it's a pretty slick way that these guys are doing to get this boost. It says, when you say citations in this case, do you mean you need the NAP in each of these properties?
That's how we target. Okay, so we'll talk about other messes. The same thing we'll push in like national efforts at live, but For that zip code stuff that we're talking about with, auto transport here, this example site, that NAP is really key, right? So depending on what you're using this kind of push for, yeah, NAP can be extremely key to that.
The next question that someone asked you, Danny Garcia guys, is this the type of stuff that you guys are going to be going over at OMG Live?
Yeah, this is like the base. Starts the conversation, right?
So he basically said, "This is hello." hasn't even started the conversation yet, guys. So as you can see, there's literally, and I can already see where these guys are going with this. You could literally sit and go on for a full day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just crazy amounts of things that can be done with this. And if you're like me, someone that can put pieces together really quick, just watching this alone, it turned my light bulb on to about 15 other things I could be embedding, doing, and a lot of other stuff that that I know they're going to go over. So if you don't have light bulbs going off with what they've done, they've like basically just shown that to you. So this is something just to whet the appetite, kind of. The other question is. So the
Can
orange.
We use Fiverr? No.
So
no, I mean, don't tell anyone on Fiverr too how to do it either.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, no,
stuff stops being effective when you start to show those type of people stuff.
Exactly, guys, and that's why we only really want to dig deep down on stuff in a live setting where there's only a very intimate setting to where everyone understands that the less people that know about this, then it stays active and live a whole lot longer. We don't want to be putting these out on webinars and all stuff like this because I can tell you this right now, guys. There's a lot of group buys in OMG, and I try to catch them all. And I see where these assimilation webinars are up within 24 hours after I do the replay. So a lot of times you guys get frustrated with these replays not going up right away. But there's a method to my madness with it. It isn't to punish people that hasn't come here. It's to be random like I do my linking, so all the people just like, when's the replay up? So I can get it posted over to my group and have them start to complain on them. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on. So
I might even buy Cotton a drink and ask them not to post this replay.
Exactly. Right. Well, you know what? Everyone had an opportunity to show up, and it's open to all of OMG, even OMG from 2013. So, they had a chance to show up. We got about close to 500 people on. So it says here, can't wait to take this action. So if I don't use FCS, I just want to use 2.0s to build out the citations. In other words, they're asking if they can do it manually.
Yeah, absolutely. This, like I was saying, this method. So if just take your number of citations. If you're just going to go after the citation portion of the boost, what I will say is always embed anything you can embed whenever you're putting content up, right? Just helps you. It's just going to flow juice towards your target. But you can just create a piece of content. Just same thing, auto-syndicated content. You mash up a piece of content. We can go to a search engine and grab some content out of the search engine, mash it up, put it on there, put your 3 links to 3 of your citations on each one, embed your stuff, your YouTube, whatever you're going to do. The YouTube does, multiple things. It helps you stay in the index, and it flows juice, and then just create, like I said, if you have 9 citations, you create 3 tier 2 properties, and then the second stuff underneath there, I really don't want to discuss unless we are under NDA or non-compete, which we will have at the live event.
Sure.
But then you start doing stuff underneath that's going to really boost all of that stuff up on top.
Great. Josh wants to know is, if my client has a 50-mile service area, can this method push my map listings in those other towns?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually not something we can cover here.
Sure. Oh, no.
Cover that stuff at live.
Right.
But yes, definitely.
So guys, just think about this. One of the things that we've just revealed right now, which is going to be some of the content that's going to be going over live, they're going to show you how you've always wondered how someone has a 50-mile service area, how some of these pushes can actually help you in those areas. I mean, give me a 1 if that's not important to you. I mean, that's absolutely important. That if you're doing client stuff, if you're doing your own stuff, if you're doing lead gen or anything, that you know how to do things like that. The next question is there a list of Web 2.0s that accept embeds? You know, guys, do your own work. I'm not going to have Mike and Derek share that sort of stuff with you, but you're just gonna have to do your own work the old-fashioned way. I mean, I think they've kind of served it up on a silver platter right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says, are the 2.0s okay if they are brand new and only have these embeds as the content?
Just the embeds?
That's
I
what the
would not
question was.
do just the embeds. You're trying to get the contextual backlinks to the citations as well, so I would make sure that there's some sort of content on there.
Yeah,
It
I
doesn't
think
have to be
maybe.
great content. It has to just stay in the index.
Yeah, I think they're just meaning if it's a brand new site and you just have that content and some mashed up to whatever, you can still use it. Yeah, it's
Yep.
not like it has to have like 30 posts on that.
No. Yeah,
Whatever.
you don't have to go crazy with it. Just, anything that'll stay in the index on a new 2.0 is fine.
Aaron wants to know, does it matter if it's no follow, do follow on these citations?
You're always going to get a nice stronger push from dofollow, but with the embeds, it's not going to make a difference because it doesn't affect the embeds, and it's still going to flow some of the juice through a no follow. So with FCS, there's a lot of no follow in there. I just go for it and grab everything and push it because it's going to be more natural if you're pushing both anyways.
And the rest of the SEO community doesn't think embeds do anything.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I got an argument the other
What?
day
Who in the
with
world would argue with that?
Oh, I was on Moz.
Uh-oh.
They took all my Moz points away.
Those like guys are idiots over there. I like
They
reading
are.
articles, and I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even know what they do. To be honest, I mean, yeah, I like that they created DA and we get a nice tool out of it. But those editorials are pretty
Someone
hilarious.
told me perfectly, you do it and you just stare at the SERPs angrily for 10 minutes a day.
Right. It's crazy.
It's white hat link building.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's
Curse at the SERPs.
right. It says so. Just one clarification. It's important that these be citations and not just 2.0 because the citations have NAP, correct?
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're doing this for a local push, absolutely. And Derek will go into the same thing. Think about reviews, maybe. I don't know. There's other things you can think about, right?
Yeah.
Even though I'm going to go and meh to Derek in his reviews, but
Yeah.
no, absolutely. Like this is, we will at live we will get into like all the uses for kind of this kind of stuff and other pushes like this. But in this case specifically, we're talking about local tiering. You want that NAP in there because that's what's going to get you this auto transport. I'm still sharing a screen, right?
Yes.
Versus this modifier, right? And to me, for a mobile world, who's typing in Ogden in that query, right? They're going to type in the query that they want to look for instead of the local modifier in most cases if they're on their cell phone because it's much easier to just type that. So this kind of push really helps with that and the mobile crap.
Great.
Mobile crap.
Guys, what I wanted you to understand right now, the questions are dying down a little bit. We've peeled back the curtains a little bit to show you exactly what's going on OMG Live. Actually, we've just turned it over to these guys for the last hour. That's it. And what they've been able to show you in the last hour, literally, if it hasn't sparked a lot of light bulbs, if it isn't mind bending, just imagine what about 16 to 19 hours with these guys could do for you. And that's what I want to really get stuck in your head is these guys know exactly what they're doing and you're absolutely insane not to even want to hold on. I'm trying to move this over to tape. Can you guys see my screen or no? Give me a one if you can see my screen.
I don't know. I got a bunch of Skype messages to say stop talking, so maybe I should stop talking now.
Yeah, you did. Maybe revealing a little too much.
That's what they're telling me.
Yeah. So guys, the bottom line is that this is exactly the sort of stuff that it says nope, there's no screen. Hold on, let me see why I'm not getting a screen here. I need to get my screen back up here. Strange. Wonder why. Derek, see if you can throw this. I'm going to throw it back over to you, Mike. Then I'm going to take it back. For some reason, it's not wanting to work.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Then you should get it here in a second. You got it again, Shaba.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm going to take it back over. Show my screen.
There we go.
Okay.
We got you.
Great.
And now it went back to that. No, it went back to the.
Did it?
The simulation webinar with Cotton. Yeah, that lasted for like a second. You want me to take it again?
Yeah, I'm going to throw it over to you. I'm going to take it back. Technical difficulties always are wonderful. Then I'll give it back to myself. Make presenter. Okay.
It went back to that weird that start screen.
Mike, why don't we just?
You want me to go to something?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, let me go ahead and Skype it to you. I want you to bring this URL up and then just show it so I can talk about it. And then we're going to close it out a little bit. So you seem to be the one that's got the magic with being the organizer. Showing the screen right now. Just
all right.
Difficulties. Make presenter. And now that's not working.
Gotta love that. Let me see if I can take it.
Strange.
No, it won't let me change presenter.
Oh, well.
Yeah, there we go. It let me do it. You guys got me?
Nope. I don't think it's working for any. Yeah, we got you now. Great.
Okay, cool.
Great. Guys, this is the page right here. We've sent it over to you. Sending it to you right now. OMG Live 2. This is going to take place directly after OMG Live. What's generally going to happen is, guys, is we're going to shut down. We're going to do something very, very exciting and very different. I'm going to give you the last day of OMG Live so you know what OMG Live 2 is going to run into. What's going to happen is David and I have sat and talked down, and David's come up with this genius idea to where instead of having, just kind of it petering out on Monday afternoon, Greg and I are going to take it as long as we want to go. And Greg and I have got some incredible stuff to show you. Then we'll break for lunch, and we're going to come back, and then we're going to have breakout session. What that is we're going to have Mike, Derek, myself, Greg, Liz, Fletch, Joe, Steven, everyone that's spoken. We're going to give them an opportunity for you to go to special areas where they're at and ask them questions one-on-one instead of doing a panel questions. So that's going to be exciting. So whoever you want to basically ask your questions to, you're going to be able to go to them directly and get whatever personalized questions you want. That'll carry on for probably an hour, hour and a half till it dwindles out. Then we'll break for a couple hours. Then we'll probably start up OMG Live 2 directly that evening. I'll open it up with a little brief 30-minute speech to get things started, hand it over to these guys, and just rock it out from there. So what I'm saying is, guys, this is a little taste of what you've been able to see with what these guys have been able to do. Every time I get in a conversation with Derek or Mike about anything with SEO, I always walk out with more ideas. The light bulbs just start going off. I'm like, wow, I just seen something. What if I did this with that and this? And that's what this webinar just did for me right now. I'm not particularly doing this method right now, but after I've seen it, it gives me ideas for 10 other things that I could do with it. I'm certain that they're going to go over. One of the exciting things that I've seen, because I've got to see the curriculum of what they're going to go over, some pretty exciting stuff. So, guys, I'm just telling you, OMG Live itself is going to be amazing. We're going to be going over a lot of things that are going to be mind-blowing. But these guys are also going to be going over some pretty mind-bending stuff in addition to that that's entirely different. Entirely different. I would encourage you not to miss it. We only do one live event a year, one time where we do NDAs, no records, things like this. Now's the time to do it. What I don't want you to do is, guys, every year the whispers happen. Now, you guys can know that from every assimilation that you've been to, if you've been to any assimilation event, and if you didn't take the opportunity to drill some of the people that were there, you got inside information. And that's what's going to happen when you're directly in Nashville. You're going to be inside of some very intimate conversations with people that are going to be willing to share some things, especially after the event when a few drinks are flowing. I think Mike might be a little bit more generous, and you know, and Mike loves to help people. So Mike is going to be happy that he's helping you. Mike might tell you a little bit more than you need to know. Derek might be the same way. Derek loves to help people. He wouldn't be here week in or week out. Another reason why this event is so important, it's our way of giving back to Derek, to Mike, and it just to show them that we feel that there's some of the top minds of SEO in the world and shining the spotlight on them. It's their time to show you as an OMG community. It's just the community of OMG. There's thousands of other people that know they're great, but just to shine the spotlight and say, hey, we want to show you our best SEO of what we got for the next 2.5 days. We guarantee you it's going to change your business. So, guys, if you haven't had the opportunity to get signed up, please do so. You've got 30 days to make your plans. If you're already going to OMG Live, I'm telling you right now, once you see what's going on and once you get to meet Mike, once you get to meet Derek, and when they start whispering what they're going to be talking about during the days of OMG Live 1, you're going to be beating yourself up that you didn't sign up for OMG Live 2. Trust me when I say that. So either way, if you're going to 1, I think you're crazy not to go to 2. And if you didn't get into 1 because it was sold out and is sold out, get to this one. Get to this one. We have less than, hold on, we got a couple more that have come in that's already bought. They've already messaged me right now while I was talking. So we're probably down into the teens right now in seats that are left. So if you're thinking about it, guys, please do so. What I'd like for you to guys do right now before we just kind of lock it up and give the last words is, guys, please go to the Facebook group. I want you to personally thank Mike and Derek for showing up tonight, kind of peeling the curtains back on this, showing a little bit of what's going to happen at OMG Live 2. It's going to be an amazing, exciting event. And if you could go over there and thank them, I'm going to leave these guys with their last words, and then we'll sign off. Next week, guys, it's going to be a very special assimilation. We are actually going to do a Google Hangout for assimilation. That's right, a Google Hangout. You're going to see live faces. And it's all going to be in a celebration of David Mills' new modules and course that he's got ready to roll. And it's exciting stuff. It's going to be star-studded. You're going to have Joe Marfolio, Fletch, Gregory Ortiz, Mike Long, myself, and anyone else who's going to come. I'm going to reach out to a lot of people. You're probably going to see about 25 or 30 of the top OMGers in history on this webinar. And it's going to be moving. It's going to be amazing. And it's all going to be on a Google Hangout. First time we're ever going to do this. So be prepared for that next week. It will also be open to all of OMG once again, as this is open October. But I'm going to hand it over to these guys, Derek and Mike, with your last words. Mike, any last words before we log out?
No, I just appreciate the time tonight, and I hope it does help you guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely, always. Derek?
I just wanted to add to the add-on event. It's just there is no talk of ever doing this add-on event ever again. So it's kind of like a one-time deal. So I mean, if you're kind of on the fence, like, oh, I might go, I can't afford this year, I'll go next year. It's not going to happen again next year. So
no, we didn't. We've never even
talked about it at all. Yeah.
No. Actually, I mean, I'll even be able to tell this. Next year, the add-on event is more than likely going to be on Amazon. I mean, it'll be Amazon for a couple days, and all the SEO is going to be cramped into the first part. That's just an idea. So Derek is right. There's no guarantee that this is going to be an annual event, but you better look at it as a one-time thing. So anything else, Derek?
No, it's it.
Great.
Have a good night.
Great. Guys, we'll see you next week. We'll be live, Google Hangout. I'll see you then. Have a great week.